Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Weather and Horoscopes. My name is Jen Barish, and I will be your cosmic guide to the astrology, to what's happening with the energy this week. We will go over the moon cycles and the astrology transits and a personalized little horoscope tidbit to help you get through the week. So thank you for joining me and for being here for the forecast today. So this is the week of December 2nd through 8th, 2024. And we start off the week, let's first talk about the moon. So if you have never tracked the moon astrologically, not what moon phase, however, we are in a new moon phase this week leading up to first quarter moon, so it's the beginning of a cycle. We are birthing a new idea or a new structure, a new way of doing things with this moon cycle and being in Sagittarius. Probably some sense of coming to a close at the end of the year and starting something fresh and new for 2025. So there may be some plans, some hope, wishes, or dreams that you're trying to get off of the ground, or finishing up something here at the end of 24 so that you can begin something new for 2025. So, but astrologically, tracking the moon is different. It's tracking what sign is the moon in, and that moon changes signs every 2.5 days, and it goes right through all the signs in order from Aries all the way through Pisces, and then it loops around and does it again. And through each 30 days that month, it will get through all of the 12 signs. So that moon is moving fast and it changes, and just noticing what sign the moon is in can help you to know like your mood or other people's mood, kind of the energy. Even if you don't know signs, knowing what element is the moon in, an air sign, is it an earth sign, is it fire, is it water? Water signs tend to be more emotional. Earth signs tend to get more work done, so those are good working times. Fire signs are creative, the energy is uplifted, maybe you have a little more energy during that time. And air signs can be more communicative, relationship type of building energy. So just you can look that up for more keywords, but that's just a baseline. But so this week, the moon starts off, we are in Monday, we're coming off of that new moon. That moon was in Sagittarius on Monday, and then on Tuesday and Wednesday, we'll move into a Capricorn moon. So I want you to notice the shift between that fire moon, Sag, going into a earth moon, Cap. Things become a little more predictable, a little more routines. What do we need to get done? Real practical. What are the steps to get there? How do we prepare for winter? You know, we're coming up on Capricorn season. Capricorn is the sign of the mountain goat or the sea goat, the one who can sustain and survive in the bad weather, in the cold, in the snow, who can still climb that mountain and get to all the goals. So a Capricorn energy is a survivalist type of energy. So they are preparing, they are stocking up, they are getting ready for what is to come. And that same kind of energy comes in when we have a Capricorn moon. So I ask you, what are you stocking up? Have you been to the grocery store? If it is snowing, if you're in Northeast Ohio, it's snowing, and hopefully you got lots of canned goods. And up in New York and Buffalo, where we got all the snow, hopefully you guys are in good shape and are all stocked up for the winter. But that's what I'm saying, that kind of like stocking up for what is to come. And that's the energy on Tuesday and Wednesday, emotionally, that we are preparing for what is to come. Then that moon shifts on Thursday into Aquarius, an air sign, a little bit different. Now, it's fixed air. Aquarius is a fixed sign, and being air is very cerebral, so we're all in our head, lots of thoughts. Maybe you have trouble sleeping those nights, maybe not quite as much as like a Gemini moon, but lots of ideas are coming in. You're mulling over things, you're thinking things through. What are all the steps? How are you going to handle this? You know, doing lots of like, I'm thinking of like mechanical type of thoughts, like, you know, what are all the pieces and parts that need to work through in order to get the things done that Cap Moon was planning and was preparing for. But now in Aquarius Moon, we're going through all the mechanics of it. And we might be doing it a different way that we've never done it before. Aquarius is the sign of stepping off the beaten path, beating to their own drum, very individualistic, also freedom seeking, very independent. So you may find a strong independent streak on Thursday and Friday, like a little kid saying, I'm going to do it my own way. You may need to beat to your own drum and just do things your own way as we cruise toward the end of the week. And that's all emotionally. So the moon signifies our emotional body. And then on the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, this week, that moon is in Pisces, moving to the next sign from Aquarius to Pisces. It's a water moon. So this is a good moon for sleeping in late. It's a good moon for dreaming. It's a good moon for art and movies and romance, and anything that's artistic or creative would be really good. You might find that you're a little more emotional during a water moon, that Pisces moon. And keep in mind that that Pisces moon has Saturn's influence, because Saturn is also in Pisces, which can actually be a little bit of a downer. It might bring a little sadness. It might mean that there is work to be done. Saturn is our taskmaster and our timekeeper, and we are coming to the end of the year. What all do you need to finish? Maybe you had projects at home left over, closets to clean out, curtains to wash, you know, you needed to paint in certain areas, you needed to donate to Goodwill, whatever that is. Pisces moon may bring up some of those things, and I just tell you that so that you know it will pass. It's just a feeling. It's our emotional body bringing up stuff maybe we wish we would have done, you know, communications or contacts we wish we would have had, memories from the past, making us a little, maybe a little down or a little blue. But how you bust out of that is getting into books and theater and movies and distractions, going on a little journey, you know, through a book, taking a little trip through a movie can be a very nice way to spend the time with, or going to a concert during a Pisces moon. So that is the moons this week. And then we'll start off going through the transits. So we begin on the 2nd, which is Monday. And the first notable transit of the week is Venus making a positive aspect in the sky to the planet Uranus. So Venus is all what we desire, what we love. It's romance, it's relationships, and it can be partnerships. It can be people that you work with. It could be business partnerships, the way that you do business. Well, Uranus is coming to bring something new in, and it can be a surprise. It can be an epiphany, an aha. Something new is coming. My keyword for this transit is harmonious surprises, because Venus is a benefic and Uranus is like lightning. So something new is coming in really quickly. Maybe you just see a different perspective. So it doesn't have to be a big something new. It might just be something small. For instance, maybe you and your sweetie got into an argument and you are just so fed up with them and you're like, I'm at the end of my rope with this person. Maybe you have a breakthrough and say, you know what? Instead of blaming you, maybe my expectation for what you were going to do is what was off, and maybe I need to change me and not expect that to happen anymore. That would be a way to look at that change. You changed yourself instead of trying to change them. Okay? So during any transit, I would ask this question, but with Venus trying Uranus, you know, can you be a better person for yourself? You know, changing things up just for you, changing things up on the inside, because maybe it's not about relationships, maybe, or it's the relationship with yourself. You know, how can you be better every day? What ways can you step off the beaten path? Because Uranus, much like Aquarius, is very independent and individualistic and wants to beat to its own drum. You know, so maybe you need to beat to your own drum a little bit. Maybe you get yourself some flowers. Maybe you plan on dinner alone or dinner with friends. So that's one perspective. Or the other, maybe you receive a gift from someone. Maybe they're acting a little differently. Maybe they're sweeter or kinder, a little more romantic than usual. So this can play out in many ways, but the qualities I would look for, because Venus is in Capricorn, and you heard me talk about this survivalist energy and preparing for the winter, and then we have Uranus, who is in Taurus. So these two energies are earth energies. So there's a practicality to things, the day-to-day routines, the way we get stuff done, a real earthy quality to this change or this epiphany. And maybe it's learning or thinking about or just having an aha around steps you need to take, actions you need to do, work you need to get done, goals that you set. And that's how I noticed it in my own life. It was more of an internal type of feeling, this Venus trine Uranus, or what I'm noticing still, because you may still feel this into the middle of the week, this Venus trine Uranus, some new idea or new feeling about something or new thought. Maybe it's about you and just the way that you need to do things a little differently for yourself so that you feel better. And maybe there's some practical steps. Maybe you need to take on a new health care routine. Maybe you need to eat better. You know, after the holidays, we've all had too much pie, and maybe it's time to get back into better habits. You know, maybe we've slid off a little bit of our routines, and you're saying, you know what? I need to do better for myself. Maybe I need to start going to yoga. Maybe I need to spend some quiet time alone doing some self-care, taking a bath, you know, just spending some time when life is so busy, trying to quiet things down and settle things down a little bit. Could be some ways that Venus and Uranus are talking to you, but we'd love to hear. So leave us some comments and let us know how you see this energy coming through in your life. So Tuesday, a little quiet, other than still feeling that self-care or love vibe out of Venus and Uranus. So Tuesday's a little quiet. Wednesday, the 4th, December 4th, we have many aspects, and at that time the moon will have moved into Aquarius. So we've got this like air mind, and it's busy. Well, here's what's happening. Mercury is opposite in the sky like a full moon with the planet Jupiter. That is expanding our thoughts. It might bring through good news for you, positive communication. Jupiter is bringing you some mental gifts. Words, speech, confidence. Mercury also rules transportation. Maybe you had a car repair and you find out, oh, it's not that bad. The whole transmission didn't fall out. It's a small little thing that needs to be fixed. You get some good news. Communication will be flowing on Wednesday. Maybe with Jupiter's presence, overly communicative. So watch where words become too much. Does it fall into gossip? Are you going further than you need to go? In Sagittarius season, we can be big mouths. We can blurt it out, and I can be accused of sticking my foot in my mouth a time or two. So this is a time when I'm going to be watching and making sure that I didn't overstate something, overpromise something, or talk about something too much so that it went into a form of gossip instead of what I had intended. Because Jupiter can make us a motor mouth and just make us blurt out and say things maybe we don't need to say. So along with this energy, this expansive thought, expansive talk, we have the sun coming into a square, which is a 90-degree angle. It's like hitting your leg or knee or foot on the coffee table. Saturn is saying there are steps, there are rules, there are laws, regulations, things you've got to deal with, work you got to do. And it just brings the balloon of Jupiter all the way down. So hopefully, if you feel that squeeze, you are going to be able to say, okay, it's still good. I just have a little bit of restriction here. You know, it's still going to be okay. I still got that good news, but maybe there's some steps that I have to take in order to make that news as good as I would like for it to be, okay? And then the third thing we have going on this busy Wednesday this week is Venus is trining or making a positive aspect to the planet Neptune. So Venus is our love, our passion, our money. Neptune is illusion and delusion and like dream, foggy kind of movement. You can sense it, but you can't see it. It still feels like you're in the fog. But when these two are working together, Venus adds that positive quality. Neptune adds a little creativity. So we have this instinctual, kind of a sixth sense, psychic knowing. We can do it with flair. We're highly creative. So if you are a creator, this is a good day, Wednesday through Friday, for you to make some art. You may also feel, like when you wake up from a dream, you're dreaming and you first wake up and you're kind of sleepy and you haven't quite opened your eyes and you just feel like you understand all of the dream. It all makes sense. You worked out a problem. You know what steps you need to take. And you don't write any of it down. And you get up and you go have some coffee. You walk around the house. You let the dog out. And then all of a sudden you think about that and you're like, well, that was just nonsense. It's gibberish. Like, I don't even understand what that dream was about. None of that makes any sense anymore. So if you've experienced that, Neptune's working kind of like that. So if you get some good plan, some good idea, and you wake up from that dream, you need to write that down before that gibberish goes away, or it becomes gibberish after you fully wake up, because you may have had a really good plan. You might have had a fix for something, and you could see all the steps in your fogginess, in your instincts, in your dreams, that upon waking, it just kind of dissipates like a cloud. And it's gone. And then you miss the opportunity. So don't miss the opportunity. Keep a pen and a little piece of paper or a notepad by your bedside the middle of this week to the end of the week, so you can catch any of that sixth sense coming through, any of that dream work helping you to work out some problems. Okay, next coming up we have Thursday, December 5th. So this day is important because Mercury is in retrograde, right? So when Mercury is in retrograde, we just have to build an extra time. There's traffic. I have an Aries moon. I am so impatient, especially during Mercury retrograde. You need to be extra patient. But when Mercury is in retrograde, like it is, it's growing closer and closer to the sun, and they are actually going to come together, it's called the cazimi, when they are conjunct. So you may have heard this term, may not matter to you, Mercury cazimi, but basically Mercury is in the heart of the sun, and the two act as one together. Okay, that's what you need to know. So Mercury's our mental body, and we are thinking on overload. Ideas, chaos, just busy, busy, busy. You can be either on overload mentally, or oppositely, you have complete clarity. You know the plan. You see the steps. You have the path. And it can kind of go back and forth. So I just want you to notice, and that's where it comes in important that you write things down, that sometimes it's like, oh, I've got the path, and other times it's just like, oh, it's so chaotic, like music playing too loud in the car, and you just can't focus because there's so much going on. So that's on Thursday. And then if that wasn't enough, on Friday, we have Mars going retrograde. If you've been watching the astrology, you may know this. If you haven't, you're like, what the heck is a Mars retrograde, Jen? Well, so just like Mercury, it causes delays in our communication and our transportation. Mars is like our inner gas pedal. Okay, you are driving a stick shift, or if you've driven a stick shift, then you know, and you are slamming the brakes either way, things stop. Okay, our inner gas pedal comes to a stop. Things are halting as Mars stations. This only happens every couple of years, and we are going to experience this from December 6th until February 23rd. And it's not that Mars stops, and it's not that it goes backwards. What happens is the Earth starts moving a little bit faster than Mars, and it looks like it's going backwards, okay? But the energetics of it is, it feels like somebody's hitting the brakes. You are rolling up, all of a sudden all the all the lights of the cars in front of you are red, and you have to slam on the brakes, okay? This car is locked up. There are delays. People are stubborn. They don't want to cooperate. Nobody is in harmony. Not completely, but in many ways. You're just going to feel like stuff is not working the way that it needs to work, okay? Things are not moving forward the way we want them. Maybe it's slower than usual, or maybe things do completely come to a halt. Okay, Mercury is going to go out of retrograde December 15th. That's going to help. But it's not December 15th yet. So between now, on the 6th, through the 15th, we've got 2 planets like this in retrograde, causing things to back up. Things aren't moving forward. Things are stopped. So what do you have to do? You have to be patient. You have to build in extra time for things to go wrong, or you have to take a detour. You have to do it a different way. For example, I live on a hill. There's a subdivision that's on a hill that seemed like a good idea when we moved here 10 years ago. And there are basically 3 ways to get out of where I live. Well, 2 of those ways are currently under road construction with delays, with workers, with flags and signs and stops. So I have had to build in delay time. So what do? I distract myself. I listen to podcasts. I make important phone calls. I take a snack with me. I try to find ways to distract myself during all the waiting that an Aries moon does not like to do. So you're going to feel like an Aries moon during this period, like you're just waiting and waiting and waiting. Try to be patient and find distractions for yourself. And that is the best way I can say things will start to clear up. But alternately, I'll just tell you, I was doing a reading a couple weeks ago, and there was somebody that was facing some legal issues. And they were very concerned about what the other party was going to do. And I said to them, well, Mars is going to go retrograde soon, and Mercury is going to be retrograde. I think that all this stuff is going to be halted and delayed, and it's going to give you time to get all your proof and all your paperwork and all your receipts and documents together so that you can go fight this thing the way that you need to. So I tell you that so that you can think about, like, okay, what is the purpose of this delay? Maybe there's a project you're working on and you don't have all your stuff together. Maybe like me, you got sick in the fall. I had something that, I don't know if it was COVID or pneumonia, and I got behind on so much of my work. Maybe we need this little time out so we can get caught up, right? So I want you to think about, how can I creatively use this little stop sign, the brakes that are being hit now through February, to kind of slow down. Maybe you just need to rest. Maybe you just need to take a holiday and do some self-care because life has been so busy. But maybe it is helping you to prepare for what's next in 2025. So that's a good way that we can use this energy. Okay, so that's a lot. We got to talk about Friday. Still, other aspects going on. We have Saturn back in the mix. Now Mercury is squaring Saturn, and that can offer to this whole delay situation restrictions, confusion, boundaries, barriers, rigidity, people taking stances, harsh words, but maybe it's something that needs to be said. So maybe the air gets cleared here. Maybe when Mercury squares Saturn on Friday, when the brakes get hit, in some way the air is cleared. So I'll just remind you, when they go high, you go low. When they are rigid and just mean, okay, and say things in not so nice of a way, you practice kindness and compassionate and your listening skills, right? That's how you go low. When they get overly heated in Sag season, there's lots of fire in the sky right now. Mars is in Leo. That's a fire sign. Argumentative energy can happen. So you just remember, when they get heated and elevated like a fire, you drop into kindness and caring and listening and not engaging. And that Aquarius moon is going to help you to do that, to just disconnect and kind of be an observer. As if in yoga class we talk about going into observer mode, and you're just going to kind of pretend like you're floating on the ceiling looking down at this situation. Somebody's having a fit, they're acting out like a little kid having a temper tantrum, and you're just going to watch them. You're just not even going to engage. You might even inside of yourself laugh a little bit and say, you need to grow up a little bit. But you're not going to tell them that. You're just going to think that, and you're going to be in observer mode while you do it. So that's a way that you can work with that. Also on Friday, and really it's going to come into the 7th, which is Saturday on the East Coast around 1 a.m., we have Venus moving out of Capricorn, and she's moving into Aquarius. That's going to help us be in that observer mode. It's bringing a detached and analytical viewpoint to our desires, our passions, our relationships. So we're going to be able to think through things maybe, and to not get so emotionally invested, and really have a plan together before we speak, right? And remember, when Venus is in Aquarius, she is independent. She is unconventional. She thinks of a different way to do things. Connections become more brainy, more mental, more talkative, more mentally engaging. So lots of conversational energy here. And Aquarius energy is also the energy of we, not just me, but the collective, all of us together. So it may be when Venus cruises there, maybe, you've been arguing with your person, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's not just about us. It's about our whole family. It's about our kids. It's about creating harmony for everybody who's in our little sphere. And if that's at work, put it in that perspective. Maybe it's your whole work group, everybody who's in your department or on your floor. Notice how it becomes more of like a collective wish. We're all working together instead of just Venus desiring communication or conversation or connection with just one person, right? So friendships and community involvement become more important, and there might be more of an openness or a tolerance or an acceptance of different viewpoints, Could also be a focus on the future, like 2024 is almost over. It's time to put that chapter away and open up the book for the new chapter of 2025. And just remember, go get yourself a calendar, because it's time to get started planning for the new year here soon. All right. So then we have the weekend. That moon has shifted into Pisces, and on Saturday, December 7th, as soon as Venus goes into Aquarius, she's running smack dab into Pluto. Not literally, figuratively. They are going to be conjunct, and then we're going to notice a little undercurrent coming. A little deep, dark undercurrent, underworld topic, something taboo, something somebody's hiding, a deceit, something is fishy here. You're just going to have that sense. Something's fishy, and I want you to trust it on the weekend. Dark topics can come up. You can get a deeper picture of something that's going on, issues of intimacy, jealousy, brooding, competition, hard feelings may come to the surface, and addiction might come to the surface. Maybe overwhelming. Okay, you may feel a little overwhelmed. They might feel a little overwhelmed. You find out something, or you reveal something that somebody didn't know before. Maybe you didn't know that about this person. Maybe they have anger issues. Maybe they vape or smoke, or maybe they have a habit. They bite their fingernails. Something that you didn't know about that makes you wonder about. They always say it seems so cool, calm, and collected. Maybe that's how they're handling their stress and anxiety, huh? So those are kind of just an example of like a Plutonian underworld, underground, deep, dark topic. Something's coming up. Now, what will you do with this information that you get? Venus in Aquarius says you're going to sit on it for a few minutes. You're going to think about it. You're going to analyze it. You're going to go through it before you actually address it. Okay? So you are going to spend some time with whatever you learn or you discern, really thinking through how it got to be that way and how you need to step into it. So don't get into a hurry to move. Now, the other part of this on Saturday is that Neptune is going to start going direct. He's been in retrograde too, but Neptune is an outer planet. He goes retrograde every single year for some period of time, a long period of time. It gives us a time to, reassess some of our hopes, wishes, and dreams, and those like foggy, intuitive things that come to us in our dreams. And so now he's saying, okay, forward direction. And that also gives this feeling like something is being revealed. There are a skeleton or two in the closet that's coming out, and that Pisces moon is going to make us extra intuitive, okay? And so boundaries are down during a Pisces moon, because Pisces can't hold a boundary for anything. Everyone that I know, they struggle so much in being able to say no. They can't say no. I think about my husband, who's a Pisces, and we have this little dog who weighs about 7 pounds. She's a part miniature poodle, and she always jumps on him and wants to be held, and he can never just say no. So it's kind of like that, what is jumping on you, what is on your back that you can't say no to, or you watch this happening with another person, and especially if emotions are high and that sun is still in Sag, and it'll still be opposite Jupiter, so there's a possibility of an outburst, okay? Something could be blurted out. There could be big emotions. Actions are more than what you expected or realized with Jupiter in the mix. So I challenge you. You can either watch the show or you can be the show. So I think self-control is key over the weekend. Just notice where people are kind of losing their cool, losing their mind. Stuff is coming out that you didn't know about before. Something's up. You smell that fishiness, and it's time to just watch. Just watch and learn. You'll know how to react soon enough going into next week, especially when we get into that Aries moon. You're going to know how to push forward with that, but just sit on this for a little bit and think about it. And that is the week. Is that enough for you? It's enough for me. I want to hear how we all deal with this week. All right. Now we're going to move on to the horoscopes. So I realize we are a half an hour into this forecast, so I will try to move quick while still giving you a few keywords to help you out. Now, this horoscope or any horoscope, if we are using the Placidus housing system, that's what we're using here for this one. I like to use the rising sign. If you don't know your rising sign, hop on our new website, astrocollege.com. It's under construction. I believe there's an app that you can go in there and you can figure out what your chart looks like if you don't know your rising. Hopefully you do know your rising. Now, I like first to pay attention to my rising sign horoscope, and then I'll move to sun sign, and then I'll think about moon sign. But those are the three most important signs you'll want to watch. So for Aries rising, that sun is going to be in your belief, travel, and learning section this week. That's the 9th house. You are going to be questioning what you believe, why you believe it. Maybe you've grown out of touch with your belief system, and with the sun in Sag, remember it's the season of candles with Sag, a little light, a little flashlight is being shone on that. Maybe you need to get back to your belief system. Maybe you need to revise some things, or maybe you're ready to learn something new. Maybe you want to do things totally different, and you're really intrigued by something that comes in from another culture, something you've never experienced before, something you're learning or you're teaching. Those are kind of the vibes that are coming in for Aries rising this week. Now, the other thing I want to tell you about is that Mars movement going retrograde. That is going to be happening in your house of fun and pleasure and creativity, putting a little stop on those projects, Aries. So if you've been working on something and you're feeling less than your best creative, just be patient with it. Maybe you need to stick here with this medium for just a minute before you move on to the next thing. Aries is quick and fast and one and done and wants to keep going. It's time to just take a little break. So you may feel like the brakes are being put on somewhere in that 5th house energy where Mars is at for you. It has to do with fun, pleasure, romance, creativity. It can even be the house of children. So maybe if you have adult children, maybe something's going on for them. So I just invite you to stop, to explore, to lean into it, and just feel what's happening with this Mars retrograde, who's putting the brakes on collectively for all of us. It's not just you, it's all of us. And it's a time to really reflect, like, how do I want to do things moving forward when we get into February and Mars moves on forward. Okay, Taurus next. Oh, the sun is shining in your house of intimacy, your taxes. So you want to make sure you get your taxes set up for the end of this year, and shared resources, the ways that you share things with others. Are they sharing with you? Are you playing nicely, Taurus? You need to be thinking about that, because somebody's asking questions and they're going to expect some answers from you. So I want you to be prepared. And then the brakes are hitting in somewhere at home with your family, in your nest, in the spaces that you call home, your heart space, your roots, where you came from. Something's happening there that has that like rest, reset, reflect type of energy. All right, now we move on to Gemini. And I'm looking at my notes here, so bear with me. Gemini, that sun is shining on your relationships this week. All of the different kinds of partnerships could be with your kids, your parents, your brother, your friend, your co-workers. So relationships are highlighted. And then you're feeling the brakes having to do with communications. So I want you to be extra careful with any emails that you send, with any contracts that you sign. Are you reading all of the fine print? Are you real clear on what all the rules are? Maybe you're hiring a painting contractor and they send you this big long thing that you sign online and it says they get paid no matter what. You need to make sure you know those details. So Gemini, take the time to dig into the details and really know about your communication this week. And then enjoy relationships. Go out and visit. Go and have lunch and dinner. Go spend time being social with those people that you care about. Cancer, your week, it highlights really your health, your wellness, your routines, your small pets, and your houseplants. So what do you need to take care of, Cancer? You love taking care of people, and that is really where you're going to shine this week, is how you nurture others and really how you're nurturing yourself. So don't forget about you, Cancer Mama. And then where you want to be careful is with your money, with how you're spending. I know Christmas time is coming and sometimes we can spend a little bit more than we have, so I want to make sure that you balance your checkbook. You know how much you have coming in, how much you have going out, and you're really paying attention to your money, your possessions, your valuables this week. It's important because the brakes are being hit there somewhere. So I don't know what that means in your life, but I want you to watch for it and think about what lesson you're supposed to learn out of this change. Leo, your week is focused on fun, on games, on romance, on enjoyment and pleasure and socializing. You are in the holiday vibe. You are ready to go and party and play and have fun and just enjoy life. And I encourage you, Leo, it's a good time for you during Sag season. It's positive. Go make those cookies and candies and go pass them out to all the neighbors and the friends and the coworkers and do all the things that make you feel good for the holiday season. It's a really good time for that. Alternately, you are going to want to watch your energy level, that you don't deplete yourself. What are your motivations? What are your goals here? What are your goals going forward? So this Mars retrograde is asking you to reassess what direction you are moving in, if you are happy about that. It may also, because Mars is a very physical sign, encourage you to get more physically active, to take care of yourself better, another kind of self-care vibe, but having to do with energetics. So if I had one suggestion, I would say Leo, go get on some probiotics. They're going to give you energy, and go make sure you get your steps in. So if you need a step counter watch, go get that and make sure you're taking care of yourself the right way. Because Mars is calling you to task and saying things aren't working the way they need to be, so it's time to get it into gear. So go have fun, but get it into gear, Leo. Next we have Virgo. So Virgo, the sun is shining this week in your family life, your home life, with your kids, your spouse, with your parents. There is harmony there. There are some good things coming in. Maybe you're remodeling. Maybe you are painting. Maybe you are just decorating for Christmas. It's a really good week for that, for you, Virgo. Getting things cleaned up and organized. That's what makes you feel good. And you get all your spices organized, and then you're going to be ready to bake cookies soon. So just spend your week getting your nest in order and making things feel homey and family oriented. And then Mars is asking you over the next 10 weeks that it's in retrograde to rest. Okay, so once you get organized, you may feel a little tired. It is time for some R&R for you, Virgo. It is time for you to rest and relax and go into hermit mode. You know, hermit is your card in the tarot deck. It's symbolic of Virgo, and that hermit is the one who needs to retreat. So I don't know if you know a Virgo or you are a Virgo. So there are times in your life where you just go and spend some alone time. This would be a good time to build that into your schedule. Maybe you say, it's too busy right now, I can't. So I want you to think about next week. The brakes are being put on somewhere. It's asking for you to take a break, to reset, and go get some R&R and do some self-care for yourself this week, Virgo. All right, next we have Libra. Libra, Lady of Balance, we have a real focus on your communication this week. Really positive communications. You're able to speak your mind, to say your truth. You are able to talk it out. You're going to be very concerned about what's happening in your neighborhood, with your neighbors, on your street, in your community, in your local spaces. So the sun is shining and Mercury Cazimi is shining in your third house. And the third house is kind of like our fishbowl that we live in. So if you imagine that you are a goldfish and all of the area around you in your local space, there's something getting a good light. The candles are being lit up there. And so how do you take care of your local environment? That's going to come into focus for you. Maybe it's time to clean the fish tank. Maybe it's time to detox the fish tank. I don't know a Libra who doesn't like a good detox, so be looking for ways that you can do that. And then I want you to look for where the brakes get hit among groups, social groups you're in, maybe workout groups, your friend groups, ways that you gather with other people. Something is stopping here. Something, maybe you were connected to a certain group that you met up with once a month, and for whatever reason they're taking a break until March. It could be as simple as that. Or it could be a group is stopping and they're not meeting anymore, or you just feel like this isn't good for me. This doesn't fulfill what I thought it would fulfill, and now it's time to look for something new. But that energy around gatherings and collective vibe is getting kind of a stop put to it. So I want you to think about why. Why is this important for you right now? And you'll start to see a pattern there. You'll start to see, if you really reflect on that, ways that you need to redo something there in your life. That is 11th house energy, where Mars is at for you this week. Now we have Scorpio. Scorpio, the sun is shining in your money house. Show Scorpio the money. So, money, taxes, wealth, savings. Money is coming through for you somehow, Scorpio. I'm not sure exactly how. Maybe it is just the way you perceive things. Maybe you're feeling extra abundant. Maybe you spent some time working, doing some volunteering over Thanksgiving, and you realize, you know, I have a pretty good life. Things aren't as bad as I thought they were. Maybe it's just a feeling of abundance, but abundance is shining through for you this week, Scorpio. Now, Mars is coming to talk to your 10th house, which is the house of career, of profession, of public standing, who we are out in the world. So there are some brakes being put on that process. Maybe something is slowing down at work, maybe less projects than usual, maybe it's just slowing down coming to the end of the year. So take this time to build yourself back up. Be setting up your resume. Maybe you haven't updated it in a while. Keep on the job board. See what's available out there. Something in that career sector, something's smelling a little fishy, and you just need to prepare for what's next. So the best way you can do that is being ready like Capricorn and saving up for that winter and knowing that you need to be prepared for the future. So do what you need to do to be able to make that preparation and keep your eye on what's happening at work. And that would be your week, Scorpio. Next we have Sagittarius. You are joining me this week. The sun is shining on your energy house. So it should be high energy. You are planning for the future. You are thinking about 2025. Sag energy is always forward thinking. What's coming up next? What's our plans? And I am definitely doing that. What are your goals? What motivates you? What would you like to see happen? What direction? What path are you taking? So lots of energy around that, Sagittarius. You also might be changing up your look a little bit. Now, you can't see it from this picture, but for the first time I actually cut some bangs last week. They're and I was like, oh my gosh, did I do that during Mercury retrograde? Maybe it's not that. Maybe you're thinking of changing a hair color, or you want to change up your wardrobe, or it's time to get a new car. But something about your look, Sagittarius, is going to be changing here in the coming week or two, because this is your season. It's your brand new year, and you're thinking about, how do I present myself to the world? So, do you like the way you present yourself to the world? Well, just change it, Sag. You are great at coming up with a new way of doing something, and so your wheels are going to be spinning, and that sun is going to be shining on changing things up in a way that feels good just for you. Now, alternately, Sag, Mars is coming into your 9th house, and you're like, what the heck does that mean, Jen? That means that the brakes are being hit on some form of spiritual growth you have been working on, maybe trips you have been planning. It could be taking a new class, you decide not to do it, or in my case, I was going to take a class and they canceled it and it's not available anymore. And they said, oh, we'll pick it back up, interestingly, in late February or March. So maybe something that you had planned doing, the brakes get put on it. And you know what that gives you time to do? Sag, I want you to go make a list of every workshop, class, learning opportunity, and book that you have purchased in the last year. I bet there's a dozen of them and you've done none of them. So instead of picking up something new, let's spend the next 10 weeks working through some of the things we already plan to do. That's a good way to use the energy and learn those things that we had intended by all these classes. I'm so notorious for that. Finding a good workshop online, and it's a good deal. I can get it for $25, and I'll click the buy button, and then I never do the thing. So that's what I'm going to be doing and how I'll be using the energy. But I challenge you to find the ways to use the resources you have and to grow through what you already have, instead of looking to the horizon trying to find the next new thing, because it probably won't work out right now for you, and that's okay. We need a little pause, Sag. We need to get our feet back up underneath of us so that we know our direction. All right, next, Capricorn. Cap, you are having the sunshine in your money house. Let's see, is that right? No, I have that wrong. In your 12th house. I'm like, we already talked about the money house back with Scorpio. So in your 12th house. And this is the house of reset, reflect, retreat, spending a little time alone. It can also be the house where it's like our psychological space that nobody goes to but us. Okay? Your attic space, your hidden attic space, Cap. You are thinking through some things. You are growing and changing. I can think of a Cap in my life who really is growing up. There is a maturity that's going on here, and that requires for you to have time to take a little reflection, right? And so the sun is shining. It's really good for you. It might feel really good to just have a break for a little while. Now, alternately, Mars is coming into your house of intimacy and shared resources. So the brakes are being put on somewhere in a relationship, somewhere, somebody you are very close to, and you are going to have to continue to work at this thing. It is not full steam ahead there. So if you're feeling like you are building a close connection somewhere and you feel that brake being put on, don't despair, Cap. It's going to be okay. Just be patient. Just lean into your survival skills. Do what you need to do to get through the next few weeks and next couple of months, and by February, things will be back on track again. So spend some time resting, reflecting, get into a good book, start journaling, start paying attention to your dreams, Cap. These are all good ways that you can spend this time this week while Mercury is Cazimi in your 12th house, and you can look that up for more tips. All right, Aquarius. The sun is saying, Aquarius, you go out and make all the friends you want this week. You go join all the groups. You've been thinking about some things, and they are good ideas. Aquariuses are so smart. You have all kinds of great ideas, and it is time to act on them. We are coming into almost your season, not quite, but a time for you to gather and for you to build community and for you to enjoy that collective vibe, that we versus me. Go out and party and socialize and go to the plays and the shows and the movies and out to eat and go do all the fun things that you enjoy doing, Aquarius, and make those connections. Networking is going to be really strong for you this week. Now, but Mars is coming to your relationship house, so there could be some barriers and some obstacles and so some delays. So maybe you are after a certain client. Put this in a work perspective, and you are trying to build that relationship with them, and then all of a sudden things go awry. Just be patient. Things are going to change over the next couple of months. Things just may not work the way that you wanted to with that one particular relationship, but you have many others, Aquarius, so go work on those. That's something that you can do productively during this time. And that is your week. And next, last but least, we have Pisces. Pisces, you're going to be focusing, and your week is shining in your workplace, with your career, with your social standing out in the world. It could be that you get recognized for something at work. You have some achievement. Maybe you get offered a side gig. Maybe you get offered a new position at work. Maybe you get a raise or a bonus. It's the end of the year, but something good is coming through in your workplace. And alternately, I want you to watch that Mars is coming to work, doing that retrograde stuff in your house of health, routines, pets, and plants. So I need you to make sure you don't overwater the plants so that you don't kill them. The season's changing and it's getting cooler. I want you to watch after your little pets and get them to the vet if it's time to get their shots. And the care that you would give to them, Pisces, you need to extend to yourself. So if you are not feeling well, if you get sick, if you have some symptoms, don't fool around with that. Get straight to the doctor. It's time for you to go get a checkup, to get your blood pressure monitored, to get all your levels, your blood work done. Go do that work here at the end of the year, because it's going to be important for you to really care for yourself, to care for your health, and to watch out for illness whenever Mars is coming into your 6th house. So if you're interested to know more, you need to go sign up for a medical astrology class here at Astro College. Medical astrology can tell you so much about the medical makeup of you based on all of your planetary alignments and where the planets are, as well as the aspects between them. We have a fabulous teacher. We have lots of classes coming up at Astro College here in January. So go to astrocollege.org, or alternately our new website, which is still under construction. There's a couple up there though, astrocollege.com, to learn more. Please leave us your comments. Be sure to like and subscribe to this video. Help us to build. We have, I think, 900 YouTube followers right now. We would love to get to 1,000 here by the end of the year. So share this video or any of our other content that's out here at Astro College. We would be so grateful. Thank you for your time, for almost an hour of listening to me. I hope there is something good here that you are able to use to help you to thrive and grow in a Sagittarius way. Lots of optimism, joy, and happiness for you this week. So it has been a pleasure. Have a great December 2nd through the 8th, and I will see you next time. Bye, friends.